100.3 FM, The Source.
All right, just about 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Nice looking day. It's turning out to be anyway, right? It's kind of
gorgeous.
Have you ever had a piece of music that was your go-to piece of music to pump you up, like you were feeling down and you say, you know what, I got to listen to a little bit of fill in the blank, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it was Springsteen, or maybe it was the Beatles, or maybe somebody newer.
Alice Cooper.
Really? He pumped you up?
Yeah, he was great. Alice Cooper was great.
I have a book that'll pump you up. It is called John. It's called John. It's called The Build Framework. It is written by our guest, John Peitzman. He is on the phone. Let's see, the subtitle, A Heart-Based System for Personal and Professional Growth. And this is like having your own personal, I don't know, not the word trainer. What's the word I want? Like a cheerleader. John is a personal
life coach.
Well, that's what he is. He's a certified high-performance coach, a professional speaker. He's the creator of the Build Frame Network, the Build Framework. He's the teacher of meditation. And let's find out about, did I hear you say he's in Australia?
Yes, he is.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that cool?
Our voices are circling the globe right now. John, good morning. How are you? It's an honor to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks, Tyler. It's great. And you want to ask me what time it is here?
Yeah, what time is it there? What time is it?
It's 2 a.m.
Wow.
So really circling the globe.
What are you doing up so early? You shouldn't be up this early. This is
exactly.
bad. That's bad for your health. You shouldn't be doing that.
Hey, for you, Larry, anything. For you, Larry, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, your book is very motivational. I'll put it in that way. Motivational. It'll make you want to say, you know what, I could do more. I could do more, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So have you always been this way? Are you the guy that always made everybody else feel they could do more?
Not always, no. I think that, I'm doing that now because others have done that for me. But actually, I was the guy who had a lot of external success. You name it. It's the wife, the child, the house, the job, the money, the credentials, the prestige, the position, all these things. But, a lot of times when you have that, and people who don't have that sometimes realize or think that, it's about getting that, right? And that's going to make you happy. And everyone hears, of course, that these things don't cause happiness from inside. And when you actually have the opportunity to obtain some of those things, you realize that can be true, right? That can be true. Because that was true for me. Because there was this void and, there was this longing that kind of needed to be fulfilled on the inside. And not for more stuff that I just mentioned, that external stuff, but more of that intrinsic, internal markers of success that are the things that really matter, right? The feeling of purpose, the connection, that peace, contribution, value, enthusiasm, all that stuff internally. And that's when I said, look, enough is enough, and figured out a way that I'd done, like in my corporate environment, and all the success I had was, bringing me to the point where I could figure out how to do that, not just professionally, but personally as well, from the inside and out. And that's where the Build Framework comes from. And that's really what I was able to do for myself. And then it was so successful, both internally and externally, that people started to say, well, what are you doing? How is that working? And then, to your point, that's when people started to say, well, can you help me do that? Or can
Yeah.
use that? And then, hey, that turned into a book, right? So then it's a book. I do coaching, as you mentioned, all these other things. But that you can't really help others get more until you actually do it yourself, because otherwise you're just kind of, not really being authentic, basically.
So I'm going to take a guess at this, that when somebody gets motivated to do something in one area of their life, that it actually kind of branches out so other things may benefit from that same motivation. Is that right?
Yeah, well, that can happen if you have a framework, right? Because part of what a framework does is it allows balance across the different areas. The problem sometimes, Larry, is that people get motivated in one area, but it actually has a negative effect on another, right? Just take a simple example of work and then relationships, right? So some people can focus a lot on the work. It can go either way, right? Pick work, and they're there, and they get motivated, and they're doing this, and what suffers sometimes? Well, the relationship, right? Or, you turn it around too, where someone's just doing the relationship, and because of that, then the work. So they don't have that balance across, the different arenas and areas of their life. So yes, motivation can be important and can kind of stem that kind of internal drive that you can apply. But if you don't know how to keep the balance in your life, sometimes that motivation can actually cause disharmony instead of harmony.
And you've actually lived this because you've always been moving forward in your life. You went from a childhood actor to owning martial arts schools, and then you even worked for the FBI and the Secret Service. And now here you are, sharing everything with the world, because sometimes people like to remain stagnant and not venture into the unknown.
Yeah, that's true. I think that, look, change is always happening, right? You're always moving, and you're not going to stop time, right? And you're really either moving forward in, what we call kind of growth and expansion, or fear and contraction, right? So you make a choice pretty much every day, not if you're going to move or not. It's like what direction you're going to move. So, it's all about, in my view, really talking about living and moving from the heart versus the head in a way. And by that, I mean kind of just connecting with your authentic self and your best self in each and every day. And different opportunities, like some of the ones you mentioned for me, or other opportunities for other people, they'll show up, and then you can step into them and actually be your most authentic self and move forward in your life. And the most important part is enjoying that journey, right? And actually experiencing that enthusiasm, pretty much every day, no matter what happens, and then amazing things happen, right? I mean, that's what life is.
In the book, you talk about somebody who tried to extort money from a company you were with. Could you tell that story to the listeners?
Yeah, I can tell the sanitized version of that. Top secret stuff right now. And you mentioned, because I was in corporate security after, we worked a lot with, the FBI and Secret Service on different initiatives, because we actually, had one of the largest companies out there for information technology, which happened to be Electronic Data Systems at the time. It was later acquired by Hewlett Packard, HP. You probably know that, a small company of about 300,000 employees, 160 countries, and I think at the time 141 billion in revenue. They split up now into different kind of sub companies and things like that. But back in this time, it was still Electronic Data Systems, and basically part of what we ran with the data servers and everything with the data centers around the world was about 80% of the world's travel and transportation went through these different centers, right? That we had in underground bunkers and the rest of it. So, which includes FIDs, they're called FIDs, the flight information displays. So these things at the airports and all the things that allow planes to fly, as well as systems that you can buy tickets online and things like that. But anyway, in one of these centers, what happened was, the story you're talking about this in the book, someone actually took down that system, right? Just enough to get our attention. Just enough.
Right.
And then the call comes in, right? And the call comes in, and the call is, get ready for our demand, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting because, in the book I talk about, Bill, just so you understand the context of this is, I'll talk about the first two letters here is, B is for build relationships, and U is for understand the business, right?
Uh-huh.
And I talk in the book about, because, I had built some relationships because of the position I had and other things, but not just in the work context, in the personal context, with some of the FBI agents, right, at the time. And because of that relationship, I was able to understand certain things, and then I had implemented strategies. So I had a strategy to actually reach out to them when I needed to, because they actually said, don't get law enforcement involved, the typical television thing you see, don't call the cops, right? Something like that. But they could take things down. Literally, they could take those flight information. Imagine you're at the airport and all the flight information displays go black, right? Imagine, something could happen. These types of things were potentially what they had the opportunity to do. We were like, okay, we'll stand by, we'll wait for the call. I call my guy, my FBI guy, who I knew personally because of those relationships that were built, and he happened to know as well a negotiation kind of expert, right, for extortion, right? So these guys were amazing, by the way, because they knew, pretty much like a chess game, what we say, what they say, kind of back and forth. But here's the funniest part. The demand finally comes in, right?
Right.
And the demand is, are you waiting for it? Because this is the punchline, right?
Well, I know because of the book. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, what do you think it is? But you can't say it because you know, right? So but the demand comes in and it's $5,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We're sitting there going, and by the way, so I didn't call the guy yet because this all happened really fast. Before I called the FBI, I'm kind of jumping around here, but basically they took the things down. They had our attention. The demand's coming in. The demand comes in and it's $5,000. Not $5 million or $6 million or all these things. Right. You've got to be kidding. But again, that's when, because of my relationships, I'm like, okay, I understood. There's something deeper here, and I'm going to call, the FBI, bring them in and handle this. It's really not about the money. It's about, what's happening, right? Long story short, read the book for, more context. But the point is, what happens is this. The FBI comes in and they do the trap and trace, they do all these things, and that's when that amazing kind of display of genius I told you happened, where they said, okay, we're going to say this, they'll say this, we'll say this. I mean, they were like 3 steps ahead, these guys, every single time, the FBI, because they knew exactly what was going to happen, and they played exactly as they have a crystal ball. So anyway, they said that, we said this, and we went back with the negotiations, and finally that was enough back and forth basically to triangulate them and all the stuff you see on not as cool and not in a half an hour episode of CSI or anything, but all that stuff is happening, and they catch him, right? And here's what it turns out. And they're like just kids that were doing it, but they were being directed by others in another country even. I mean, it gets kind of a laugh. But what they were doing, Larry, they were hitting many companies every single day and week with this $5,000 amount. And what would happen is that everyone would just pay it. And and they'd move on to the next, basic victim, because no one had even would blink at that amount, right? Because the companies they were going after did better. So, but do the math, right? Think about hitting multiple companies all the time, and they've made millions, basically, over the course of time, because no one had called anyone because they didn't have the time and they had the money and they just wanted them to go away, right?
Yeah, right, sure.
But we had the relationships in place, right, which I had, and kind of that fits in the framework. Is that you had those relationships, so you reached out and we did the right thing, because ultimately these guys were funding actual terrorist organizations. I mean, it was a big deal. It was like they were doing this instead of selling drugs. Well, and selling drugs, I guess I should say. But they were doing all these different activities to drum up money that was really, funding really bad, nasty activities. So that's the story about that extortion you were talking about.
Oh my God, it's a great story, but it's such a sad commentary, I guess, on the world and how people are using what we have for things that are not, good, I guess, or not. So how does that help us understand how to build our own framework? Is it because of the people you knew that could help you with that particular circumstance?
Yeah, I think the whole analogy for the listeners out there is just to realize when you look at build, for example, and you understand the acronym and how that works, those are kind of the different areas, and really understanding how each one depends upon the other one, right? So in that case, if you look through, and the rest of the build, by the way, because everyone goes, okay, what's LNT stuff? I went through B for build relationships. You understand the business. And then I stands for implement strategies. L is actually lead and inspire. And then D is deliver excellence. And I guess the point is that even the listeners or yourself, think of anything in your life, you'll realize that if you have true excellence in anything, if you kind of reverse engineer it, you'll see that you did that based on leading and inspiring. And leading and inspiring was based upon actually implementing the right strategies, which was based upon an understanding of the business, which is only done at a deep level if you use relationships, right, appropriately to understand that business. So I guess the answer to your question is really those all came together. And I think I talked about that, in the book, in the kind of an implementing strategies and leading and inspire, that those areas where you leverage appropriately the fact that you have the relationships in place and that you understand things so that then you can implement the right things and then lead and deliver excellence and all the rest of it, both, again, personally, but also professionally in that context. So I think that's kind of the takeaway for the listeners in this brief kind of explanation we're talking about here.
And I think the common factor in all of this is that everybody seems to want one thing. They want to be accepted and their expertise valued.
Yeah, they do. I mean, what people really want is, they want more of all these things, right? They want, more of that, but not just the external things, right? You're so right, because we're talking about that on the opening kind of segment where, it's not really about those external success markers. It's about more of those internal things, especially once you have those external things. So then you realize, oh, well, that's not it, right? And you're right, that respect, that value, that connection, that authenticity, that kind of, again, I keep going back to enthusiasm in your life every single day when you wake up, and you're feeling that drive, right? And when you connect and have balance and you know how you're spending your time and what you're doing, then that happens organically.
I like the fact that this is a multi-tracked kind of a program. You could use it for improving your productivity at your job, but also improve your connections with the people you care about. Your wife, for example. It sounds like the same techniques work either way in both of those kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, I've been a coach for a long time. I've been in the corporate context where it used to be, not that long ago, where you'd get a corporate coach for your corporate stuff, and then those executives would say, well, don't talk about my personal life at home. I don't want that. And then if there's problems at home, you get, a counselor for the home life, and then they don't talk about work, and it's like, you can't really disconnect your life.
Right.
It just makes life too hard, right? So yeah, this framework, absolutely. That's why, heart-based system for personal and professional growth. Because look, I'm just a simplistic guy too. I mean, even if you could have different strategies and programs for all these different arenas and areas of your life, why? If you can have one framework and simplistic methodology that works everywhere and you just apply it, then life becomes so much easier.
And since you teach meditation, you're not just drawing on the present, but you're drawing upon the principles of the past.
Well, yeah, and just being still, right? Because when you're still and, you're connected to yourself and you realize, what that voice inside or from your past or whatever your experiences are that we've all had, right? And if you're still enough to hear those things and most importantly, still enough to feel how you're actually feeling. I mean, look, most of us get taught to think, not to feel. I mean, that's the truth in this life, right? So meditation really starts to help you be able to feel more. And when you feel more, you can make different decisions every day of your life about what is the right next step from the heart.
We were talking about life coaches before, and if you were Oprah Winfrey, you would have a life coach. Oprah Winfrey has more than one, actually. Who else did I see on the list of celebrities who have life coaches? Leonardo DiCaprio is on the list, Serena Williams, Hugh Jackman, Andre Agassi. There's a whole bunch of people listed as celebrities who have life coaches. So the average person probably can't afford to have a life coach. And I think what you've done with the book is you've given us a way to have access to your expertise, but in a very affordable and practical way.
That was the plan, so I'm glad that you see it that way. Because that was the purpose of putting it out there. And hey, look, it's still great to get a coach and there's a course out there and all these other things to the next level. But it's like I tell everyone, just one step at a time, right? And if it's just understanding some simple things you can do each and every day, then you're on your path. And if that path takes you to kind of go into things more deeply because it resonates with you, then go more deeply, right? But at least you're making a positive change, right?
I mean,
that's the point.
I'm sure that was the same exact thing when you decided to write the book. I'm sure you had the same thing. You couldn't sit down and write it in one sitting. You had to take a little bit each day and write it and then rewrite it if you needed to and edit it and all the things that took place in order for this book to become a reality. And this is true for any book or any project. I mean, look at a building. When a building goes up, all those people involved in the construction of that building are there every day, adding a few more bricks, and next thing you know, there's a building. It's the same thing, right? The same thing you're saying.
Yeah, and it's not just sitting down me like writing things up. The cool thing about this framework in the book, for example, is that it's years and years of actually applying this in the field, right? I mean, you mentioned earlier it's not just personal and professional, but in the professional context, this is how I ran global operations for different teams around the world, right? And really tweaking it and realizing what the intricacies of the build framework are in order to make the most successful team. And then I applied that to the personal life as well. And I was like, oh, that's when the light bulb went off, when I realized all this stuff I'm doing over years with the job and at the work environment to make all this stuff so successful, that can be applied at home too. And then, it kind of wrote itself, because then it was all of that experience, not just, thinking about this as a great concept. It's like, it was actually tried and tested in the field, which is something that I think is really important too, because anyone can come up with an idea, but the question is, does it really work?
Right.
And if you have the experience and the practical application, then you know the answer to that.
And a person has to know when it's okay to intersect their personal life with their private life, and when not to keep them separate.
Yeah, they do. And it's really, important to understand just when to take that next step, right? And when to reach out, and when to actually have the vision of making sure that that's a priority to whether you're, focused on work or, your personal life, which one might need a little more attention. But as we talked about before, they do both affect each other, right? Because you can't really keep them separate. Because you can't be a jerk at work and then expect that not to kind of lead into your personal life, right? And vice versa. So it really is kind of this 24/7 where you are who you are. And the more you understand this, then actually the easier life becomes, because you're no longer having to keep those separations in place, right? You're no longer having to be one person here and one person there. You just are who you are, someone with an open heart.
Yeah, the cliche scenario of the successful businessman is the guy who's doing really well at work, but his wife feels like she's being left out. So that's the cliche. And just using that, I know it's a fake model and it's a stereotype, but just using that as an example, if that was me, for example, I would have to say, here's the irony. The same dedication I'm putting into this job is not being put into my relationship, and I need to start doing that. And I think that's part of what you're saying, is that whatever it is that works at home is going to work at the job as well, and vice versa.
Yeah, if it's working, right. And that, you have to make sure the thing works first, right? If it's not working, then it's not working too, but you're absolutely
right. Yeah.
They're simple things, just understanding, look at it. You're so right. In that cliche, that businessman, how many things in meetings are on his calendar, right? How many, hours does he spend with goals and objectives and key metrics and all these things that he looks at and spends time on in the professional context? And then you ask him, well, let's look at your calendar. Where's date night, right? Where are your goals for your relationship? What's your ROI on the investment?
Yeah.
And then they just have this blank stare, right? Because they don't actually put attention on that. And when you don't have attention on something, when you're not putting your energy into something in a positive way, then, lo and behold, if it doesn't grow, well, you're not watering it, right? So, that's the analogy. And I think you're absolutely right that cliche so often, unfortunately, is true, where people are really dedicated to one arena and area of their life, and it actually negatively affects the others. But
just listening to you, I can hear energy. And how many of us are this energetic at 2:00 in the morning? It's 2:00 it's 2:00 where he is over in Australia. When did you move to Australia?
In 2010.
Oh my gosh, you've been there a while.
I've been here ever since.
And you still have...
I come back every so often. I have family in the States, Minnesota area.
Oh, Minnesota. Nice. You still have the American accent, right? All right, I have a copy of the...
I think I do.
I have a copy of the book. If you call me, I'll leave it here for you. The rest of us have to buy it. I found it on Amazon. Do you have a website you want to recommend?
Yeah, sure. People can go to thebuildframework.com. Where they can get links to the book, the course, and the show. They can also check out jphighperformancecoach.com for even more transformational tools.
Very good. John, thank you for taking time to be with us this morning.
I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
With a graduate degree in management and leadership from Webster University, there'll never be a better time for you to explore what's next in your career. Classes are scheduled so you can continue your normal workday routine, and the accelerated program means a new term starts about every 10 weeks. If you're looking to gain a broad general management and leadership perspective, then Webster University's Management and Leadership degree program is the right one for you. It's all a part of what's next at Webster University.
Go to webster.edu/manage, accredited by ACBSP. The Florida RV Trade Association's Ocala RV Show. This is big. Come see huge selections of trailers and RVs with all of the bells and whistles. From cozy trailers to massive luxury RVs, you will not want to miss this. The sheer size of this RV show is enough to get you out here. And if not, there's concessions and booths too. Going on now through Sunday at the Florida Horse Park on Country Road. 9 to 5 on Saturday and 10 to 4 on Sunday. You won't want to miss this.
Clouds and breaks of sunshine with a passing shower mainly along the coast. The high 76 at the coast, 82 inland. Partly to mostly cloudy and mild Thursday night, low 60 to 64. For Friday, times of clouds and sunshine and warm with a high of 80 to 84. Saturday, partly sunny and warm, the high 81 to 85. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is